Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jodi Liston, founder and principal consultant at College and Prep. We're excited to be meeting with you today, and our special guest for our feature spotlight series is Nick Antol, Director of Financial Aid from Kimball Union Academy. At College and Prep, we really strive to assist our families in their search for the most fulfilling and beneficial path to make their child's academic journey one filled with excitement and self-confidence and reward. We work with families of all ages, from preschool through 8th grade, through high school, post-grad years, summer gap years, and college placements. We're happy to speak with you today, Nick, and I'm hoping that maybe you can share with our families who you are, what your role is, what families you serve, and then I have a whole bunch of questions that I'd like to pepper you with so our families can learn more about Kimball Union Academy.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jodi, and super excited to be here and share with you a little bit about my Kimball Union experience. I've been up here for 7 years on the hilltop after working at another school for 11 years. And I think for my wife and I, it was a really awesome opportunity to, move up to a part of the country that we were really excited to live in. Kimball Union is located near Hanover, New Hampshire, in the beautiful Upper Valley, in between Vermont and New Hampshire. So we just love being out in this rural area. It's a great place to raise our two little daughters, who are now 7 and 9. So they're not as little as they were when we moved up here. And yeah, I would say the community drew us here, and I'm sure I'll dive into exactly what that means a little bit later.
Yeah, it is a beautiful area. I'm very familiar with all of our wonderful boarding schools. We seem to be, right, we have a plethora of them sort of in that region, and it is stunning, especially this time of year as the fall is creeping upon us. So I know everyone is anxious to hear what you have to say. So let's just dive right in. One thing, if we could briefly, let's talk about the things that families can find easily on your website. And so we don't want to take up too much time with that because we know that they can find it. But just dive in very quickly and give us those basic facts, your student to teacher ratio, how many kids are on campus, those things that are, again, every website, can give us the glossy overview. Give us that quickly so that we can dive into some more of the interesting topics about your signature programming.
Absolutely. So this year we have 342 students, grades 9 through PG. We are pretty close to 50-50 boy-girl. Our residential community is about 75%. So that puts us at about 255 boarders on campus at the moment. They come from, on average, 25 different states and close to 30 different countries. So we take a lot of pride in the international diversity.
Yeah. Fantastic. Perfect. And of course, all of that information, again, for those of you that are watching, can easily be found on the Kimball Union website. But let's ask some questions now that I think people watching can't find on the website necessarily. So maybe, Nick, you could share with us, many of the schools have something that they really focus on, right? Some schools are more arts oriented. Some schools are more STEM oriented. Some are more athletically oriented. We know that we're looking for a well-balanced and well-rounded education. And I think our families make the assumption that going to a day or boarding school, they're getting a fantastic education. Identify for our families, if you will, what is your real signature program? Who's a student that's really going to thrive and maybe find their niche on your campus? Is there something that you would identify is your hallmark or signature program?
Yeah, it certainly is our learning center. About 25% of our students are enrolled in those services at Kimball Union, which is obviously an additional kind of programming to what the other students receive. But to make it on a larger scale for what everyone would be exposed to, I think it really comes down to the size of the school being so small and the personal attention that our kids get from our teachers. So It's really hard to identify a typical student at Kimball Union because we take a lot of pride in saying that being different and learning differently is the norm. So, we're a big kind of proponent of universal design learning, which, really kind of recognizes the fact that all of our students are going to kind of take in and digest this information in different ways, and that's okay. And so we kind of tag it with a word called KUA design, which is kind of adding the component that we really work hard to make sure our students feel a sense of belonging on campus. And we have a lot of different ways that we do that. And that, combining that feeling of this being your home with what we're doing in the classroom, we feel like we get a really kind of unique atmosphere on our campus, and that's how we start to build our community.
Great. Wonderful. That's incredibly interesting. And while you have the Learning Center and many students access it, many students don't access the Learning Center. Although I think the point is that we want to really destigmatize if a student needs to access it for any kind of support, whether that's more extensive or less extensive. Do you feel that from an academic standpoint, there's something above and beyond just the Learning Center? Is there something academically that really stands out for you? Perhaps you have a new STEM center, or you've built a new art studio, or is there something on campus that's going on that's really exciting that you want to share with us, or something that you're looking at for the future?
Yeah, there's a lot of exciting stuff. I think this would be a great time to talk about our scholar programs. So Kimball Union really does cater to a really wide array of learners. So on the back end of our curriculum, we have 3 programs for juniors and seniors at KUA who are passionate about global studies, the arts, or STEM. And without diving like too deep into what these programs are, they really are a way for our kids to explore in depth what these subjects are by taking additional classes in either the arts or a class with a global focus, or spending their time. STEM is such ambiguous, it can be whatever these students want it to be. So building and designing something that they're passionate about, combined with an off-campus experiential learning component. So for example, our global scholars have to spend 28 days learning, studying, serving off campus. And then finally, like a reflective component where they come back and share with us what they've done. So just the other day at all school meeting, one of our students, Seb from New York, came back and talked about all the community service work that he did this summer. So it was really cool. We kind of all felt like we were there and we learned a lot from him. So it was really neat.
That's great. Nick, we have just about 5 minutes left, and I have a couple of questions that I want to ask. What happens in the afternoon? A lot of parents will send their children, or children will decide they want to attend a boarding school because of the community. And you referenced the community a little bit earlier, but we know that community happens, in the extracurriculars and in the everyone meeting up at the snack center, or the jazz band or the rock and roll band, kids throwing together an impromptu concert around a campfire in the quad. So tell us a little bit, again, I do have another question for you as well. Tell us a little bit about community as it relates to that bonding that occurs on a school campus.
Yeah, so the afternoons, obviously everybody's doing something: sports, drama, music, art. And this is a place where we take a lot of pride in letting our kiddos choose their passions and go after them. And so one of the coolest things that I've noticed here is that things like the school play, obviously the sporting events, or the coffee houses where the kids are doing music in the evening on Friday nights, they are incredibly well attended without any kind of compulsory, trying to get people to show up. And I think our kids really enjoy watching each other do the thing that they love. It's a huge part of our community.
Yeah, it's incredible how that just builds a sense of, of community, but it makes me think of like any one of those great high school movies where you see everybody coming together, and, it's an incredible experience. I agree with you. One other question I have for you is, I'm aware that many schools have their own sweet little traditions that are very unique to their school, right? So some examples are only the seniors can sit on the rock in the quad, or everybody touches the school logo as they're walking towards the athletic center. Or I know another school serves cookies and milk every morning after first period. And that's just a unique tradition for their school. Is there something kind of a fun fact or unique tradition about Kimball Union that you can share?
Well, I learned this one the other day. We have these little crests throughout campus that you're not supposed to step on because it was bad luck. And one of the kids told me the other day, it's actually worse. You don't graduate. So
Oh my God.
we avoid that. But we have a main quad where we graduate, and only the seniors are allowed to walk across that grass on a daily basis because we want it to be beautiful for graduation. So that would have to be ours.
Okay, there it is. There it is. And these are the sweet little secrets that nobody's going to find on your website. So we appreciate it. If there's anyone watching today and that's interested in contacting you, Nick, can you provide that information as we're speaking? And we'll, of course, provide it as well as we're reposting this video on all of our social media channels and our website. Share with us how they can get in contact with you.
Yeah, absolutely. As always, you can go on the website and find us under Meet the Office there. And I'm Nick Antol. So my email is my first initial and last name Antol @kua.org. So feel free to reach out via email. I'd love to chat with you more in depth because this is pretty quick.
Yeah, this is we're trying to get information quickly. We too are available to speak with families. We'd love to talk more about Kimball Union and boarding schools as a whole, or actually any kind of schooling that your child might be interested in. But at this moment, boarding schools and all that they have to offer. Kimball Union is a wonderful place with an extraordinary campus. We're happy to talk to you about it more. All of our information can be found at our website, collegeandprep.com. You can call our office at 914-401-4442, and we'll be happy to connect with you and speak with you more. Nick, we're so appreciative. Is there anything else that you might want to add before we have to go today?
I would just say, if this sounds interesting, come visit. We love kind of showing off our students on our campus. We're really proud of them. So,
and it's a great way to get a good sense of what life is really like when you have your feet firmly planted on the campus. So I strongly echo that. Nick, it has been my pleasure to meet with you today in our Feature Spotlight series. I can't thank you enough, and I will look forward to seeing you on campus.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Take care.